Live from Studio 3, this is Packaging Today with Evelio Matos, Adam Peak, and Corey Connors.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? It is Monday. It is 4:30 p.m. How are you guys doing?
Wait a second.
You talking to Charlie?
Mein Freund.
9. It is not 4:30.
In Deutschland? Ja.
Yeah.
Zwei Bier, bitte.
So what's going on, everybody? We got who do we got? We got Corey Connors at Corrugated from Sustainable Packaging Podcast.
That's me.
Here. And then we've got Adam Peak, Adam Edward Peak from People of Packaging.
High five.
And then you got me, Evelio Matos from Packaging Unboxed. Go check out the Packaging Unboxed YouTube page and do yourself a favor and subscribe. Subscribe to these guys too. So what do we got going on today? I'm in Dusseldorf at Drupa, which is
that's where you grew up, right?
insane. I did. I grew up here, not too far from here, actually. So pretty good stuff.
You saw Uncle Franz.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Yeah.
And my aunt
That's
Gertrude, and we're pretty good.
That's awesome.
We got a pretty good show going on today. What do we got? We got.
I want to hear about
What's that?
Drupa because you told us I've never been to Drupa. I got asked 51 times if I was going to be going to Drupa this year, and I said you can fly me to Drupa if you'd like. I'm happy to go to Dusseldorf.
Long ways away.
But I'm not. I'm here. So is this your first Drupa show?
It is. So it happens every 4 years, I think. It's in Dusseldorf. So from Phoenix to Dusseldorf, there's a direct flight to Frankfurt, and then I can either take another plane or I could take a train. So I took a train, like the locals do. And
The trains
that was
in Germany though are nice. I've taken a train, like a long distance train in Germany. It's like, oh, this is actually quite lovely.
What did you think of the train, Evelio, for us Americans? What's it like?
Everyone's tuned in this morning to hear what is Evelio's hot take on German trains.
Yes.
And go.
It's just like, if you've ever seen that show with the Thomas the Tank Engine, it's pretty much like that.
Oh,
100%.
so they're wooden trains? Yeah.
They are. There's like steam and it's all. No, it was amazing. It was perfect. It was super quick, super fast. It's like $100 to go 2 hours by train or $300 by plane. So worked out. So this is perfect. Showed up here this morning. I got my press credentials through IPPO, which was awesome. That got me into the show an hour and a half early, so I came with the exhibitors. They've got a killer press booth here. They've got food and people from all over the world covering print and packaging. So pretty interesting.
Shout out to the IPPO, by the way. It's
thank you.
Part of a great organization that helps us share along with other great people. You said you saw our friend Tim Sykes.
Yep, just ran into him not too long ago here, and I think we're gonna do something together in Amsterdam coming up. So that'll be really cool. He's just got here.
Amsterdam too.
He's about to go cover some of the stuff that's going on here. So for anybody that's not been to Drupa, it's the biggest print production show pretty much on the planet. You've got booths where they've got 6-8 color presses set up, and they're here for the whole 3-week duration. Probably takes 3 weeks just to get everything set up in the first place. You've got pulping, you've got recycling, you've got molded fibers, like the entire chain of machines connected together to do some pretty cool stuff. You've got the team over at Skodex. We got our buddy Brandon Jones.
Hey, Brandon.
How's it going, buddy? It's insane. And there's like 17 huge buildings that each one contains a few different things in there. So you've got Epson, you've got HP. HP has an entire pavilion where they've got multiple Indigos set up, which, those things are like 5 school buses long. So insane. Insane. Our buddy Uwe Melakar was given a tour over here today.
Oh, cool.
So some pretty cool stuff, and people coming from all over the planet.
That's sweet.
Yeah, no, pretty cool stuff. There's a sustainability pavilion also kind of goes through, you could see a lot of different processes. There's some regulation conversations happening there, some new apps and some new software that you can kind of incorporate into smart packaging. So definitely a lot of cutting edge stuff.
Are we ready to have? You can stop me if we don't want to have this conversation, but I'm curious.
Yeah, stop. But if you ask anybody that's here, it's like, what are you excited to see? Most people are like, I have no idea because it's so freaking big.
So huge.
Like a book this thick so you can plan your trip. And it is like impossible.
Okay, so I'm going to start again. So you load up, right? So you load up your Heidelberg, right? Or your HP, and there's obviously some sort of a cost to shipping all of these presses there. And taking the time, to set up a press is gnarly, and then to tear down a press is also hard. So this is probably a multiple month event. Do you get the sense that there are people there who are like, I'm here to see the latest press and I'm going to buy one, and that's kind of the general ROI is, hey, if we sell one new 8-color Heidelberg press, it's going to take care of the whole thing? Or because that seems to be the general consensus around the ROI, right?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to Heidelberg, and basically the ROI was them speaking to me. They're like, we set this up.
Secondarily,
so
secondarily is like, can we get mentioned on the Packaging Today show?
That's right. Boom,
So
right here. Heidelberg.
now it's worth it.
That's 3 times.
Yeah.
No, pretty much every machine here, because it's already been going on for a couple of weeks. Every machine already has a label on it. It says sold to, and then whoever it is they sold it to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure you're buying at a discount because it's used.
Gently used. Yeah. Right.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a big, like I used to go to like car auctions. It's almost like a big giant car auction where you can not quite as bad, but you're going there to look at and buy equipment is what most people are doing there. It's not like some of the other shows where it's a little bit about exposure and like you're like, I'm going to go see the newest thing. I've got a budget and I want this piece of equipment, and you're not going to load it up and take it back to Heidelberg. You're going to load it up and ship it to Japan or China or the US or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct.
But it's
Many
also
people already got
valuable for people like us to go and learn how the machines work. And I think it's an education opportunity for salespeople and buyers and anybody in the industry who's looking to learn more.
Yeah, but you're also if you're a manufacturer of packaging or any kind of print production, and you've purchased machines from a company already, you can go and see what else they have, and maybe there's a way that you can connect multiple machines together. So it's not like you're coming in necessarily to buy a new machine. It's like, how can I continue to innovate on the $2 million machine I've already invested in, right? And kind of expand. And then you've got inks, you've got foils, you've got like Skodex has a huge booth, and you've got you've got adhesives. Like pretty much think of the entire end-to-end production. You've got people here from every single aspect of it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so definitely pretty interesting. But that then begs the question: are conferences worth it?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my general thought. Is it seems like there's multiple layers to these conferences, and certainly between the three of us, if we kept all of our badges from shows we've been to, it would be a lot. And so, when you just think about all of the energy and the time and the money, and then even from a sustainability perspective, you've got people have to fly places and you have to ship things in, and there's just a lot that goes into it. And I kind of always leave going, okay, I get it. Like there are people who I'm like, that makes sense for that company or for this handful of companies. But sometimes you and I have been to these shows where it's like you walk by somebody's booth in some part of the show and you're like, what?
And they're taking a nap. Yeah.
Right. Or nobody's there, or everyone's on their phones or whatever it is. Yep. And that's a lot of these booths, it seems like. So I kind of always leave these shows with this same question of like, well, what are the positive benefits? What are the negative benefits? And obviously people find more positives than negatives because we get invited to probably one packaging industry show at least
Every
once a
week.
month, but
Yeah.
we could be gone all of the time just going to random industry shows and events.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. So the question being, is it worth it? So 2 parts. Is it worth it to attend? And then is it worth it to exhibit?
Yep.
Yes. I think the answer is that depends. And that's the most frustrating answer ever, but it's true. Shows are very different in
The
value.
internet does not like nuance.
I know.
Make
Show-
a stance. Give us a hot
Sure.
take, Corey.
I would
For
say
once.
overall attending shows is almost always worth the time, at least once. For each kind of show, for each version of the show. Assuming that you are connecting with people that can add value to you, you can learn from them, or you can have a potential new customer or new friend in the industry. I think that's very valuable. And I can't tell you how much I've learned at recent events like SPC, Circularity. I can't wait for the Sustainable Packaging Summit in Amsterdam again. That show was incredible. Paris Packaging Week was amazing this year. There's so many great ones, and I could make a list of my favorites, but I don't think that's what you're asking for.
No,
No, I mean, Paul's got over 200 packaging events listed on the Pack Hub. So, there's one, there's one a week.
Yeah.
But is it worth going?
So my take
So
was always this: as a sales human, I always thought, okay, do I have customers or prospective customers who are going to this show?
Yeah.
And then is it easy for me to get there? Like, what is
Right.
the cost of attendance? And I would look at it and say, okay, if I were going to go visit all of these potential customers and prospects,
Right.
how much would it cost? And is it less? Oftentimes the answer was yes, it's less. And then the last one was, are my competitors going to be there? Because I always thought if a lot of time these shows are like buyers show up and yes, they walk the show, but the events that happen around the show are equally as important. The dinners and the drinks and the parties and the blah, 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 all that stuff. And I'm like, well, if my competitors are putting on those events, I should be somebody who's doing that so that they're not interacting with my competitors. That's how I would derive the ROI as like a salesperson. Which is why I would end up at shows like at like Pack Expo, for example. I would go attend Pack Expo because all of my customers were like, yeah, we're gonna go to Pack Expo, we're gonna be checking this out, or supply side or whatever it was. I was like, I should probably just go, and at the very least, get a hotel and take people out to dinner and do stuff like that. So that's how I got it. And then once we started getting on the media, and I started walking around, I realized like there's so many people who are exhibiting who are just passively there. And I'm like,
Right.
I know why I'm here.
Yeah.
And I know why the buyers are here. But why are you here? Like you have probably the biggest expense to be here.
Yeah.
It was always shocking to me.
Yeah. I know Chicago, I don't know how many years ago there was, but it was like a How Design Live show with the Die-Line. This is back when I was working with those guys. I'm like, look, and the design company the design agency that I was working with, I was like, look, we'll partner. I'll get a bar for like 3 hours. I'll cover all the drinks. Let's throw a Die-Line party. Let's just have it, after our show, come over, have drinks on us, blah, 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 right? Like they promoted on the Die-Line, everything. We had like 30 people show up. It was a $3,000 buy-in at the bar. 30 people showed up, spent $3,000, walked out of there with $350,000 order. So didn't have a booth. It was just like, it was just a 1-day event that we created. It didn't put a ton of media behind it. So that couldn't have happened if we weren't thinking like, okay, what can we do outside of the event? What happens
Right.
around the event? Because, that would not have happened in the event, like actually just going, right? That group of people wouldn't have come together, wouldn't have had drinks, wouldn't have had the conversations and build the relationships at that point.
Yeah.
To then be like, hey, we've got this big project. Why don't you join us? And it's like, yeah, because now you've built those relationships.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing people always think of, like, oh, there's a conference. I'm either going as an exhibitor, I got to get a huge booth, or I got to go as, somebody that's coming in to attend.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's so many other ways. Our friend Sarah Scudder just posted on LinkedIn the other day how to attend an event, which I thought was great.
Mhm.
It's like if you're
That was
before you
insightful.
go-
I saw that.
oh, you saw that too?
Yeah.
That's great. It's like if you're going to go to an event, research who else is going.
Mhm.
Make sure you go in with like a list of 10 targets that you want to speak to, whether they're exhibitors, whether they're attending, and then show up with a microphone and start talking to people. Right?
Yeah.
Like hit those people and then make sure that you're walking around interviewing people for content, because as soon as you have a microphone, people are going to talk to you.
Yeah.
And then leave. It's like you can knock that out one day at any event. And it's pretty much what we do, right? I mean, we show up with a microphone and you're talking to whoever.
Right.
Yeah.
I was excited at Pack Expo. I saw you do that, walking around asking people about sustainability and packaging. I thought that was really insightful, and I can't
I
wait
did
for
not
Pack
mind.
Expo this year.
I did not like getting a mic stuck in my face.
Yeah.
And I think I'll just add one other thing, and I agree with you, Corey. Pack Expo has been a great show and obviously a great partner for ours. But the thing that I will just say is, like, I see way too many. This is like what not to do at a trade show. I see way too many salespeople wandering around with their cards and not thinking, not like they're more sales, less human. And it's like, no, understand why people are there. Nobody set up their booth to be sold labels and packaging. Nobody.
Right.
They're there to sell their
Yeah.
stuff. And so it's okay, I think, to go around, to strike up a conversation, to hey, what do you do? You can let them know, but I see far too many salespeople thinking like this was successful because I gave out 100 business cards. And it's like, no, how many connections did you make? How much content? Did you help somebody out? Did you promote their stuff? Did you talk about how awesome they were? Because that's why they're there. They're there to be amplified. They're there to sell stuff. And so if you can go to a show and you can help them, that's the attitude you have to have at these shows. Not what can I extract from it, but rather how can I help at the show. Now, outside of the show, that might be where, like Avelio talked about with the die line stuff, or like what I do, that might be where you have a little bit more of the traditional sales stuff is outside of the show. But
Right.
walking up to someone's booth and being like, I see you have labels on your stuff. Do you want to buy labels from me? That's not super great.
Yeah, that's not nobody's there for that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, do you want to move over to move
Yes.
on to post of the week?
I do.
Post of the week. Woo!
Post of the week. Post of the
Alright,
week. Post of the week.
Let's hear it.
Now we enter in the time of the show for the post of the week.
Dearly beloved.
Or a no.
We are gathered here today for the post of the week.
Bam.
Some people say, can I hear it? Some people are saying that it should be the post of the year or the post of the month. But I say no. I say today is the post of the week.
Post of the week.
Okay.
Bam. All right. Let's get these guys out here. All right. So Simon Forster over at Robot Food posted this week. It's pretty much design award season. Everybody's posting how they're winning awards and that they made the shortlist. His original post was, we didn't make a shortlist anywhere, but we're going to go ahead and take the $5,000 that it takes to enter all these things and donate it to charity, which was pretty cool. And then they got picked up by Creative Boom, who then got picked up by all the creative media. And the question becomes, is a design award something that you want to enter, and does it become addictive to the point where if you don't win an award, does that then negatively impact your design agency or your design team? Which I thought made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If you win an award in 2020 and you're an award-winning team, and then 21 comes up, you don't win an award. It's like, how many years do you let that go by without submitting and winning? So now you have to submit every year to keep up that, we've won X award, X, whatever it meant.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on agencies, especially, it seems like, for those design awards. Yes.
I mean, I was at Five Guys this weekend, and they had up there it was like best. It was literally, I took a picture of it. I'll post it on LinkedIn. Maybe I'll win post of the week, post of the week, post of the week. But it said, I'm in West Jordan, Utah, just northeast of South Jordan. And it said 2004 voted best French fries by the Columbus Dispatch 2014. And I was like, what does that have anything to do with me right now?
Yeah.
And it's on the front of their building. It's like, come in and eat pay $30 for your meal and come eat our fries, because in Columbus we were voted the best French fry. I'm like,
10 years ago.
Some of these design awards do feel a little bit like that when I see them. And there was a great line in the article where he said, hang on. It said, I wanted to give an exact quote, but it has since left me. Basically, like we're afraid that if we're going after awards, we're designing for other designers and not for our customers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a bar, is what the kids would say.
Yeah. IQ.
Oh, here it is. If we were aiming at awards, it could hamper the type of work we're able to do because we might be doing it for designers rather than our clients.
Well,
or their
that's
customers. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because you can design to win, and that's, being on trend, coming up with some new innovations and structure. There's so many different things that you can do to kind of target winning. But is it going to sell more product? Right, at the end of the day, is it going to execute on what the client's deliverable? The client's not paying to win an award. Win an award's not building their business at all. If you win an award for the new Hershey campaign where she is purple or whatever, that doesn't move any more product. Did the campaign actually move more product? Did it, deliver the ROI that they were wanting to in the beginning? That's what matters. And if your agency is able to deliver consistently and build your clients' brands, then that's all that matters. It doesn't matter how many awards you won. And that's kind of, I think, the challenging part.
Does it seem like, Avelio, you're closer to this than obviously Corey and I are, but it seems like it's a little bit of like the crossover between maybe traditional sort of like PR and marketing, whereas now it's like, yeah, you could win a design award and sales could be lagging, or you could have a viral hit on TikTok and your product is flying off the shelf and nobody gets a design award potentially. Right. It's just that you've crushed. Like I think about my friend London Lazarson, who's got his product, Final Boss Sours, and he's been making these awesome videos on Instagram and TikTok. Like his stuff is not winning the design awards for like beautiful packaging, but he's selling out of his product because he's created really awesome video and engaging video content and engaging social content. So I just think about like the difference between like that and like this really elegant, made product. They're probably two different market segments.
No, I mean, you're dead on, right? If you're, as a student, as a young designer, you're always looking for inspiration. You always find inspiration in these design awards and these in the old days, like design magazines, right? So now it's like design blogs and what viral designs are going on at the moment. So since that's what you see, that's what you want to do when you become a professional designer. So then you're chasing these awards because your favorite designer did that. Let's see what Chris got here. Chris has, there's a packaging designer that looks at the designs living on the shelves. There just might be, but there isn't one yet.
There should be.
I know like Designalytics does an award where they compare before and after. Our friend Fred Hart over at Interact, they've won that a couple of times.
Last day was May 31st. He just posted. Fred Hart no longer at Interact Boulder or Interact Brands.
Oh. So so that team
moving on.
Designalytics award, which kind of showed consumer preference from a redesign, previous design versus new design. So that makes sense, but typical awards don't. It's all about beauty, and this is me. I'm currently judging a couple of these awards, and yeah, it's like I'm looking at them from a creative standpoint, and it's going to move product. But for the most part, you're winning. It's a beauty contest.
I like how Oh,
if
go
you're
ahead.
if you're a young designer, sorry, if you're a young designer and you're looking at these awards as inspiration, what ends up happening is that kind of starts becoming the trend. Whatever
Mhm.
whatever the connective tissue between all the winners is, that starts to build a trend. And then, on my last podcast with Vincent Villager, he was going over like why not to do trends in packaging, right? It takes
Mhm.
a year and a half to 2 years to build out what this package is going to look like and actually get it on shelf, and then it's going to live on shelf for the next 5-10 years. And you can't design based off of a visual trend today hoping it's going to last for the next
Right.
15 years, because it's a trend, and trends are meant to move on from.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. I like how awards often encourage people, like you said, they motivate, to try new things, to be courageous, and I think that's really cool, especially in sustainability, where people are taking drastic measures to be more sustainable with packaging. So there are a bunch of positive things too, but I just wanted to mention that.
Dude,
Like I
your
was
cup
thinking
is
about-
always half full, Corey.
It always is.
Pisses
I
me
was
off.
thinking about when Chris asked that question. Like I put a post about Nature Nate's honey and their fluorescent label with black print.
So
And
cool.
that's not, I don't know that that's going to like win a bunch of like design awards or sustainability awards or anything like that, but it definitely stands out on the shelf. And you
Or
can
that peanut
see,
butter that was upside down.
or the upside down peanut butter. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not really upside down. They just put the label on. Instead of a 3, they put a number 4 unwind. It might have even been a mistake. Like, oh no, they put the labels on upside. Wait a second. I have an idea. But like those things don't always win awards necessarily. But to Chris's question, I think it would be really great to have some sort of an award that just talks about like not only what stands out on shelf, but then look at the before and after sales
Mhm.
numbers and the before and after sales figures and figure out like, hey, what did this design do? So like Sucker Punch Pickles is another one that comes to mind, where they're in a stand-up pouch and everyone else is in a glass jar with a label on it. Like it's a pattern interrupt. It catches your eye. And there are programs that can do tracking. Like there's a company called Retail Aware. There's another company called Ariadne that I just found out about. That they can actually tell you, are people standing there looking at your product? And you can do A/B testing on different designs. So
And Ariana Grande can do that.
Ariana Grande, yeah, Ariadne is she's the primary investor.
She's talented.
Yeah, she
But,
can do it.
like I think about Unilever, Dermalogica, with their awards they won for their pumps and things like that. I'm like, that seems like something that was functional, that was sustainable, that was award winning, and I believe has also driven more sales because its functionality was even better. So it's like that kind of stuff. I'm like, that's really cool. When to me, when awards are something that is like the cherry on top, not the goal to be had, they're awesome. So
Yeah.
when people are just designing to get an award, it's like, well, what was the point of it?
I mean, you're designing for creatives. So if I design a product that I know creatives are going to like, that product better be a product for creatives. It's not like cereal, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
there's a huge market, but I'm only designing for a tiny segment. It's like, what's the end? At the end of the day, my goal is to sell as much of these products as I possibly can,
Mhm.
not go ahead and try to single out like one tiny little group.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
Well,
Speaking of which,
have
did
a
you get your
good-
Wheaties? Did you get your Wheaties box?
yeah.
I did. I just released a video, full unboxing of it. I think there's like, you'll have to see.
Did you run
But,
faster afterwards?
I did. I shoveled a giant bowl of that stuff in my face. But no, I did. I got that box. I went through the whole thing. I tore the piece off. I ripped the carton apart to see what's inside of it. Compared it with another carton that held a lot less. That was a lot bigger. It had the plastic bag inside. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of interesting things within that box. I mean, I will just tell you, watch till the end because we kind of tear it apart and go through it. There was no plastic ID icon on there in terms of
Oh.
what it was. So I don't know what it is. But then the amount of glue, of hot melt glue that was used to seal that piece of the carton was probably equivalent to the plastic bag that was in there in the first place that was replacing.
Oh,
So-
that's unfortunate. Yeah.
From like a logistics supply chain standpoint, I get it's much more condensed size, but from a material sustainability point, I'm not sure. The jury's still out.
Where is this on your? I'm looking on your YouTube page right now.
Should be just my.
Oh, unboxing General Mills Smart Pour.
Yep, that's what they call
There
it. Their
you go.
Smart Pour.
I love
Well,
it.
have a good rest of the show, Avelio. You going to Paris?
Yep, I'm heading as soon as I hang up here. I'm heading over to Paris to watch to go see the Lux Pack show and interview people, put microphones in their faces. Should be good. But as I wrap up, I think one last thing to leave you guys with, Adam, you were going to touch on standing out on LinkedIn. I think we kind of teased it, and then next week we can jump into.
Yeah, I was looking for a post of the week, and I just went hashtag packaging, and I was like, let's just look and see what's out there for packaging. And spoiler
Did you see
alert,
anything besides us?
it's no, we're not on there because I don't use hashtags as well as I probably could, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go search for it. And the whole feed that I found was essentially somebody trying to sell something. And we can talk about this more next week, but that is what everybody is doing. It's what everyone does in your direct messages. It's what everyone's doing on LinkedIn, and it should stop. It's just a bunch of noise and nonsense. Like literally nobody goes on to LinkedIn to buy something other than, unlike Drupa, right? We'll pull this all the way through, all the way around. They're not logging on to LinkedIn to buy your stuff. They're logging on to find interesting information, to see what people are up to. So it was really kind of annoying, actually. We can talk about that more next week.
Yeah, let's go
Absolutely.
over that next week.
And then go do us a favor. Tag all three of us if you post something about packaging this week. Hopefully you can get into next week's
Post of the week.
Post of the week.
Post of the week.
Dearly beloved.
All right, we got ourselves a theme song for that.
So bad.
See you guys. Thanks so much for hopping on here with us and watching us scoop around and talk about packaging and Drupa and all the conferences. If you got any questions about packaging, let us know. Post it in the comments. We'll keep watching all week. See you guys.
Live from Studio 3, this is Packaging Today with Avelio Matos.